Welcome. I'm going to be reviewing my pull list for the week. Just gonna go over that. I'll give it a couple minutes. I just sent out some notices, so in the meanwhile, let me try to arrange these books, and then we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what I picked up and everything. Ooh, if anyone's there, let me know if the sound is good. I think it's good. I can see it on the screen, but I've never really done this, so So we'll make up some piles. Marvel stuff, which I normally get a lot of. DC, and then other publishers. I like the DC has these um, the ad for the Blu-ray for Joker, which looks pretty cool. Hey, what's up, Kyle? How are you? Awesome. I don't know if you got a chance. So, if anyone is watching, Kyle's on the chat. Actually, he was featured on this week's episode. We had a little conversation. He was helping me test out the software to like go to record remotely. Awesome, good. Um, I hope it sounded good for the most part. I spent a little bit of time editing just because the tracks were all together, so I wanted to make sure we both sounded pretty equal, except for the first part. I know I messed up. You sound really loud off the bat. I don't think so, but it is weird to hear yourself sometimes, but you kind of get over it after a little while. Uh, give it a couple more seconds. I don't know how many people may join. I hope a few more do. I spammed all my people, so we'll start. Let's see, I guess you get to pick, Kyle. Do you want to do Marvel, DC, or other first, since you're here? Carvel, my favorite. Carvel Comics, long established. We should start our own imprint. Call it Carvel Comics. Sure. Let's go with Marvel. Actually, I thought I might have more Marvel, but well, I do have a few duplicate DC titles. And I'm gonna separate the Star Wars stuff to do that last. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. So today is December 11th. For comics coming out December 11th. For the most part, they're all new. I did pick up something that I forgot to pick up a few weeks ago. We'll start today with Spider-Man 2099. Um, Miguel is my favorite of the Spider-Man. Yeah, overall, and I just really like his stuff. Now, man, I hate when Marvel puts the credits all the way to the back. So, Spider-Man 2099, written by Nick Spencer, artist is Zay Carlos, with colors by Brian Raber and Andrew Crossley, and letters by VC's Corey Petit. Um, so it looks like this is kind of the relaunch of all the 2099 titles. I only picked this one up. Oh, who did the cover? I only picked this one up and Venom because those are the ones I'm really interested in. Um, oh, Victor Bogdanovich did the cover, which I really like it. It's very Spider-Man 2099. So next up we have Captain Marvel 13, and I wasn't picking up Captain Marvel on single issues, but the new storyline that kicked off the Last Avenger storyline, I feel like I need to read that as it comes out. Yeah, yeah, I love Bogdanovich stuff. I can usually tell when he's on something. But I don't think I've read either of those titles, Superman or Aquaman. I probably should. Is it Aquaman? Is it the Kelly Sue run? Um, but for yeah, cool. Yeah, I definitely need. I read the event before that where they kind of took Aquaman out and then spun him up into the like resetting him again. Oh, okay, New Superman. Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, New Superman is the Superman from China by Jin Yang. So he's actually great. I haven't finished reading that. But back to Captain Marvel. So this is the last Avenger storyline where it looks like I haven't read the first one, but I picked it up. So it's written by Kelly Thompson. The artist is Lee Garbett, with colors by Tamra Von Villen, Clayton Cowles, who letters almost like a lot, and the cover by Mark Brooks, which you can kind of tell. So it looks like Carol is doing a heel turn and she's going bad. Her new outfit is pretty cool, and that was one of the main draws of me picking that up. Before we get lost in X Men stuff, I'm gonna go to a surprising book that I actually jumped on. I wasn't planning on picking it up, but Morpheus the Living Vampire. Yeah, that's what it's called. Man, I was so surprised by picking up the number one, and it was so good. It's like Marvel decided to do horror books again, and I'm really enjoying that. The writers Vita Ayala with the pencils by Marcelo Ferreira, Robert Poggi and Scott Hanna on inks, uh, Dono Sanchez Almara in colors, Clayton Cowles on the letters, and Ryan Brown is the cover artist. And then, like I said, this is a. I'm gonna need to get a little bit better lighting, but yeah, this book, like, I don't know what was happening with Morbius before number one, but after that issue, like, he is a full on monster. So that's very exciting. That's kind of what I like. I hope that's what the movie's gonna be like, kind of. I would think maybe they're trying to put both the comic and the movie on the same path. So I think that'd be very smart on their part. Um, Before I do X Men, I'll go ahead and do the Star Wars books. So we have Star Wars Target Vader, number 6. This is the last issue of this miniseries. Um, it's written by Robbie Thompson with art by Stefano Landini, Roberto Di Salvo, and Georges Duarte. Sorry, and then the colorists are Niran Menon and Rachel Rosenberg. Oof. Nick Klein's on art, which I'm actually excited for Nick Klein's upcoming work, and then Joe Carmagnano on letters. Um, so this book it goes back to a character that was introduced in the old. Well, Marvel put out an issue, I think Star Wars 186, I think, where they introduce a bounty hunter, and then now this book spawned out of it. So now that all 6 are out, I'll actually go ahead and read it. I haven't read it, but everything I've heard is really good. I like Robbie Thompson's work. I don't know much about the artist. There's multiple artists, so I can tell maybe they were struggling with the timeline. And then for Star Wars as well, uh, Doctor Afra, Doctor Afra number 40, which all these books are coming to an end soon. Beautiful cover by Ashley Witter. I love Ashley's work. I love the way she does Afra. Last time she was here in Dallas, I asked for a commission. This is written by Simon Spurrier with art by Casper Wingard, sorry, Casper, Lee Lowridge on colors, and Joe Carmena on letters. Um, so all these new Star Wars titles, they have the Destination Hoth header because all these titles have been taken, well, at least the main books, they've taken place between episode 4 and 5, I guess, except for the new Vader series. But the main ongoing Star Wars and Dr. Aphra, they've taken place between episode 4 and 5. So obviously, at the beginning of 5, the rebels are in Hoth, uh, which is kind of, I think after that it's, so the new comics coming out of next year will launch going from there. But yeah, I've loved Dr. Aphra. She's one of my favorite new characters added to the Star Wars canon. So I'm definitely gonna be picking up the rest of this book and then the new book coming out soon. And then now we're here at the X Men, which, as you guys may know, uh, I'm an X Men crazy person. Um, so this is Fallen Angels number 3, and I believe Ashley did this cover as well. Yeah, Ashley Witter did this cover as well. Boy, these credits at the end. I'm gonna spoil myself. Oh, maybe they're not at the end. Here we go. So this is written by Brian Hill with art by Simon Kudransky, Frank Dermata on colors, and Joe Sabino on letters. And Tom Miller did all the design for these books. Like all these things, I think that's what's credited to Tom um, Miller. So that's very important, and it's very important because it's given the X Men, all the X Men books, the aesthetic that you're seeing. So I think that's pretty cool. Um, I won't say anything about the book, about the story. I just recommend that if you want a book that's more on the violent side for X Men, this is probably one of your books. I will say that this book follows Psylocke, but it's not Betty. It's not Betty. It's Kanan. I think that's her name. She's back to the Psylocke body, her original body. And then also there's Laura Kinney, X-23, aka Wolverine, and the young Cable. He's also part of that. So that those are some characters that are pretty kick-ass. Next we have, look at this, uh, X Force number 3, and then like I said, I'm picking up everything X Men, and this has been a pretty. I was expecting not to like at least one of the X Men books because that's just life, and the law of averages says that. But everything has been so good, which kind of hurts my wallet. But the writer is Benjamin Percy, Joshua Cassara on art, Guru FX on colors, and Joe Carmagna on letters. And then, like, once again, Tom Miller on design, Dustin Weaver, and Edgar Delgado on the cover. So this book also, like the first book, kicked off with a big twist at the end, and we're trying to kind of work from there. Um, the team here is Wolverine, Kid Omega, Domino, Beast, Jean Grey, Sage, Healer, Black Tom Cassidy, Magneto, and Professor Xavier. So if you're interested in those characters, go pick this one up. And last but definitely not least, on the X-Men books and on the Marvel side, it's uh, New Mutants number 3. As you can see, the first 2 issues revolved around mainly the original New Mutants. There was one more person in there that I wasn't sure who they were. But as you can see, this one, these are some of the newer kids. So I'm actually very excited to see what shenanigans these guys are going to get up to. This is written by Ed Brisson with art by Flaviano. Oh, one name artist. I like that. Carlos Lopez on colors and Travis Landman on letters. This book follows Armor, Glob, Sage, Boom Boom, one of my personal favorites, Maxime, and Manon, which these guys are I believe they're the French twins, if I'm not mistaken. Um, I will say the first two issues, the art was done by Rod Reese, who's one of my favorite artists. So it is a little bit disappointing that he's not on this book as well, um, because he did the cover, and as you can see, like I love this. I love these books. I hope this looks alright. But I love his art. And if you heard the episode from today, Colin and I talked about Rod Reese for a little bit. Um, so give me 1 second to check here. Open the social media, and then I'll get back to the other books. Make sure there's no questions here. All right. All right. Alrighty. And I'll try to put these out on YouTube as well afterwards. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if anybody will watch them, but I'm trying to learn about streaming and video editing and just all this stuff. So I might as well do it with something that I'm having fun with. All right. We'll go over to the independent books. Um, so this week, the book that I picked up that was on my pull list is Something is Killing the Children, number 4. This is by James Tinian, Werther Del Dera, and Mikhail Muerto. This is from Boom Studios, and I also had to pick up. I forgot to pick up issue number 3. Um, this book is scary. I'm just gonna say that it's about monsters. It's about something that's killing the children, and it's just very good. I love James Tinian. I love his horror stuff. I think it's very good, and I really enjoy that. I'll save this for last. Next up, also from Boom Studios, is Red Mother. Now, I have no idea of anything about this book other than its creative team, but I love picking up number ones without knowing anything about them because that leads you to great surprises. So this is created by Jeremy Hound, written by Jeremy Hound, illustrated by Danny Luckert, and letter by Ed Dukeshire. The cover is also Jeremy Horn, so that's pretty good. I don't think I'm not familiar with the team at all either. Um, where I picked this up at Titan Comics, it just said this woman gets superpowers because of an accident. So there's not a lot to go on, but I'm looking forward to reading this. That's Red Mother number 1. It had a pretty cool variant cover that's very similar but not the same, but it was about $15, so I didn't pick it up. But I did pick up some variants. Let's see. Okay, next from IDW, um, Dying is Easy number 1. Once again, I have very little knowledge on this. I just I like the team. Joe Hill's writing, and let me find the credits to make sure I get everyone. This is from IDW, as I think I mentioned. And if you don't know, Joe Hill, he wrote Lock and Key. He's written The Cape. He's doing now the Hill House comics at DC, which are the horror imprint. Um, I think it's interesting. I'm kind of in a horror kick, but I think it's also because that's the kind of like the industry is just kind of moving in that direction. So yeah, writer is Joe Hill. The artist. Yep. All right. Oh, we just got to follow. Hey Thor, how are you? Thank you for following me. Oh, Kyle just followed me as well. Thanks, Kyle. No, it sounds cool. I've never used the setup here. What's up, Kevin? How are you? You came to see what I'm doing with my spare time. Kevin is he's my little brother in our fraternity, and yeah, we he's a very cool guy. I nicknamed him Thor because I'm a nerd, and he's a nerd, so we all kind of embrace that. Um, so yeah, so back to the book. Dying is Easy. Um, a shot talk, shit talk Holmes mystery. I don't know what that means, but Joe Hill. D Confi on art on colors. So that's actually very exciting. And let me just show you the first page, and I hope you can see it. Uh, so it's gonna be. It looks like it's gonna be a very dark book. But I'm very excited. I'll take a read. I'll let you guys what I think. Maybe in the next issue. No pun intended. Maybe in the next episode. I mean. And if not, I'll just send out some tweets. Next, we have one of my favorite things right now, Undiscovered Country #2. This is from Image Comics, by two of my favorite writers, Scott Snyder and Charles Soule. Scott Snyder of Batman fame. Charles Soule is about to pretty much run the whole Star Wars empire at Marvel. He's written a great run of Daredevil. He did an amazing Poe Dameron series. He did an amazing Lando Calrissian miniseries. Um, he's got his book Curse Words from Image just finished, and I think that was art by Ryan Brown, which we saw a cover by him earlier. But as far as the art on this book, Giuseppe Camuncoli and Danielle Orlandini. I hope I was close on the pronunciation there. Colors by Matt Wilson and lettering by Crank with an exclamation mark. There was a B cover by Francis Manipul. I decided to stick with the main cover by Giuseppe, just because I want to be consistent on this book. But if you have a chance and you go get the #1, there was an incentive cover by Jacques. I definitely recommend you picking that up. This book on issue 1, we have a group of there's a famine kind of in the world, and after 30 years, America has come out from like isolationism. Like America closed its borders and just kind of disappeared off the world. Um, and after 30 years now, they claim to have a cure. So a group of people from all over the world, they set path towards America, but obviously it's a trap, you know. So there's a lot going on there. But I definitely recommend you check that out. Last but not least, and I picked this up only because of the number. I love collecting comic books and just adding to my pile of things that I have no room for. But look at that. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #100. It looks like it's the conclusion of the City at War story, just based on the cover and the end. It's got a nice little 100 right here in the back, which I think it's really, really funny. And you can see all the turtles. So last time I read the turtles, Donatello was dead, which was very upsetting because that's my favorite turtle. Um, so this one, as you can imagine, being a #100 issue, the list of creators is massive. But we'll start with, of course, Kevin Eastman, Bobby Bobby Kerna, and Tom Waltz. Um, then the script, Tom Waltz, art by Dave Watcher and Michael Dialinas. Additional art by Mateos Santoloco, Adam Gorham, Dan Duncan, and Corey Smith. Colors by Rhonda Panson. Additional colors by Bill Crabtree. Letters by Sean Lee. And then there's a lot of covers. I was looking and I wanted to see. There's a Kevin Eastman cover, which I think is very cool. There's also a cover by, I believe, by Johnny Desjardins. I recently met him here in Dallas. He did a commission for me. He's one of my favorite cover artists right now. Hey Mark, thanks for joining. How are you? I hope everything's going well. We haven't personally met, but Clay has nothing but nice things to say about you. So I appreciate you joining the stream, and I hope you don't mind me just talking about comics. Awesome, good to hear. That was all the independent books. Um, so now let's go over to the DC books. Let's see. We'll start with the. There's a lot. So, just for anybody that's kind of new and doesn't know me, I love Batman. Batman's my favorite. You will see a lot of Batman books on my pull list every week. Um, so we'll start with uh, Gotham Gotham City Monsters number 4. I have not read this book, but I hear very good things. I'm kind of waiting for the miniseries to end. It's written by Steve Orlando with art by MK Nahul Lepan. Man, the one week I'm streaming, there's so many creators with hard to pronounce names. Maybe I should take a look at that before I stream next time. Trish Mulville on colors and Tom Napolitano on letters. The cover is by Howard Porter and High Five. I love Howard Porter's art. He was, I believe he's still doing his run on the Flash, but if not, he did a long run on the Flash. Um, it looks like this is the introduction of Batwoman to this miniseries. Like I said, I haven't read it, but this is also kind of Batman horror related. So, like I said, I don't know what it is about 2019, but comic books have just kind of taken that direction. Next, we have. Oh, I guess there's not that many DC books. Um, this is the only non-Batman related book I picked up this week. Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Teen Titans, The Judas Contract. And for those of you that are longtime readers, The Judas Contract is one of the most popular stories from the Teen Titans. Uh, I'll let you read it on your own. I don't think I won't go into detail. If you don't want to read it, there's an animated movie now. The movie it's a bit of a shorter adaptation of the book. I think the book's a lot better. There's also, if you watch the original Teen Titans animated series on Cartoon Network, the ones not the one where they look like tiny cartoons, but the one where they're kind of like teenagers. Um, that one did a very good long burn on the story of the Judas Contract. This is written by Kyle Higgins and Matt Groom, with art by Tom Rainey, colors by Hi-Fi. I love when the colorists or any other artists just kind of go by a kind of like a nickname, like Jacques and Hi-Fi. Like they make it easy for me to pronounce. And letters by Tom Orzechowski, with the cover by. Oh, really? So Mark is saying that his junior high buddy wrote the original Teen Titans TV show. That's very cool. That's actually, I think it's my favorite iteration of the Titans overall, like ever. Even with the new live show is pretty good. I never really watched Teen Titans Go. I think that's a little um, outside of my demographic. Although I hear the movie's great, so I think I should watch that. And the cover here, it's by Lee Weeks and Brad Anderson. Brad Anderson is a great colorist. And you can kind of tell from the cover what the story's about. But these tales from the dark multiverse, and I believe this is the last one. They're kind of retelling in one prestige style book. It's so good. I agree. I agree, Kevin. That Teen Titans series is so good. Um, so these one shots from they come in prestige format, so you can't really see it on the camera, but like compared to a normal comic, this is just a floppy. This is a prestige format book, so you can see that it's better. The binding's better. Obviously, it's more. It costs more. These are $5.99 each, but you do get more pages as well. So these are retellings of classic stories. Um, and then what they're doing is they're retelling the story and then changing things a little bit because it is a different. The Dark Multiverse came out of the Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's Metal event, and it's just a great way for them to retell stories. They did one on Batman, where they redid the Nightfall story. They told one on Green Lantern about the Blackest Night. They did one about the death of Superman, which kind of put Lois in the middle of the story, so that was very cool. And then they did Infinite Crisis again, and then I believe this is the last one. But they're just good. It's just fun stuff to revisit the stories, kind of like a what if. But don't tell DC that I call them that. They won't like that. What ifs is a Marvel thing. Next up, we have. That's not my normal chair. Next up, we have Detective Comics. 1017. And no, I don't have all 1000 issues. I wish. Um, this is I'm behind on this story, but let's see. But I think if this Taylor is who I think it is, and it is, Tom Taylor is the writer. One of my favorite writers. He wrote Deceased. He wrote a lot of Injustice for like years and years and years. He wrote some of the best annuals in the Batman series that's currently going on. He's just so good. And he's writing, or he wrote, because I saw a tweet from him today. He wrote Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Um, so if you're interested in any of that stuff, go check out Tom Taylor's books. It's you get a guarantee from me that you're gonna enjoy what you're reading. The artist on the book is Fernando Blanco, John Callis on colors, and Travis Lanham on letters. The covers by Tony Daniel and Brad Anderson. There was no snow this week, but we were expecting it. So yeah, so Detective Comics is just um, after the issue 1000, they brought in a story where they brought in the Arkham Knight from the video games, and I'm just kind of falling behind on reading this, but it's one of the books I pick up weekly or monthly, just because of the pedigree of Detective Comics and being a Batman book. Next up, the last two books. So there's four books left technically, but two of them are variants. So we have Batman: Curse of the White Knight, and this is the continuation of the White Knight universe from Sean Murphy. Sorry about that. I forgot his name. So if you haven't read Batman: The White Knight, I definitely recommend it. The reason I get both books is because both covers by Sean Murphy does amazing art, and Matt Hollingsworth's doing the colors on these books. And this is just Sean Murphy doing, like, he does the script, the art, the covers, and he has Matt helping him with the colors and world design with the lettering. But that's about it. Like, this is all Sean Murphy's work. Yeah, it's very good. Excuse me. This is book 5. I don't know how long this series is. The last one was 8 issues. This one might be as well. Um, the very cool thing about this one, and this is the only thing I'll tell you about this story, they introduced Azrael, Jean Paul, who is one of my favorite characters from the 90s. When he became Batman, or um, yeah, when he became Batman in the 90s after Nightfall, where Bane broke Bruce's back, they needed a Batman, and he stepped in. It was one of the craziest. Like, his design is amazing. Like, it's just knives and blades and pointy things. It's good 90s stuff. But his Azrael persona is very interesting because it follows a lot of mythology that's created for the character. About the It's very religious based, kind of, or at least, yeah, religion based. So yeah, pointy things are the best, Mark. Um, if you don't believe me, go Google Strife from the X Men. And then last but not least, I think this is the book that I was looking forward to the most. It's uh, The Dark Knight Returns, The Golden Child. So this is a book by Frank Miller and Raphael Grandpa with Jordi Belair on colors. If you have not read Frank Miller's The Dark Knight, stop watching the stream and go read it. No, I'm just kidding. You can wait till the stream's over. The Dark Knight Returns, at least for me personally, is one of the best, if not the best, Batman stories ever told. And I'm not just saying that because it came out in '86, and somebody pretty cool was born that year. Um, and I got both covers. Well, there's multiple covers, but I got two of the covers. Now, this is the main cover, and it features Superman's daughter from the previous book, from the Master Race. And then it features, I think it's the current Batman, who is Kathy. Oh no, what's her name? Shoot, She's Robin in The Dark Knight Returns. Sorry, ooh, ooh. We have a Texas Civil War in the chat. Oh, I can't believe I forgot her name. But it's okay. The internet will provide. Oh yeah, Carrie Kelly. Kathy Kelly is an announcer from wrestling. Carrie Kelly is the. She was the current Batman as of the Dark Knight Master Race, which is the last time we read anything from Frank Miller in the Dark Knight Returns universe. So this is her new book. It's from the DC Black Label imprint. And then if you look at this cover, you may have seen kind of the controversy that kind of sparked because protesters in Hong Kong are using this cover as kind of their symbolism. So that brings in political implications with China, and DC is a large company. So that was a there's a lot of story, like just historical importance I feel to this cover just because of the moment that it came out. So I thought it was really really worth picking up. Uh, and then I don't know anything about the story. My buddy Austin, he asked me, "Hey, what's this book about? Should I go pick it up?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't know what the book's about, but it's another Frank Miller book from the from the Dark Knight Returns universe. So I'm gonna go pick it up, like no questions asked." Um, so that's all the books for today. Um, I want to thank first of all before we start closing out. Thank everyone who joined me, Kyle, Mark, and Kevin. Thanks, man. Yeah, this is a nice stack. Well, I'll tell you what, this is a heavy week. So hopefully they're not all like this. But whenever I pick up a few random number ones, um, it really adds up to the pile. So thanks for joining the stream. But before we head out, this weekend there's an event in Dallas called Who Needs Sleep, and I'm trying to go to the website to give you guys more details. Um, Not only because I'll be hosting a few panels. So Who Needs Sleep? You can go to the website whoneedsleep.org, but it is a charity telethon, and it benefits cancer fighters and their families. It's 36 hours to fight cancer in December 14 and 15, which is this weekend. Yeah, yeah, Devin's thing. So if you're familiar with um, Devin Pike, like uh, I've met Robert, Irvin, and just everybody that's on the board and everybody's putting this together. My buddy Clay, who's one of my co-hosts, introduced me to this thing. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, Devin. Mark saying Devin is his homeboy. Yeah, Devin. A lot of people know him, so I think it's a very good cause. So as you're watching this, go to the website, get informed. If you're interested, I'll be hosting a wrestling panel. We'll talk about wrestling, which I'm missing AEW right now. So after the AEW Dynamite, so after the stream's over, I'll head out to watch wrestling. But I'll also be part of the. We're gonna have a next issue podcast panel, and we're gonna have a Watchmen, a HBO Watchmen panel, which we're gonna talk about everything up until the last episode, which comes out that night. Um, so once again, go check out Who Needs Sleep. It's whoneedsleep.org. I'll share out some stuff on Twitter, but once again, it's for a good cause. And just spreading the word helps out a lot. We we have a lot of people that work very hard, very very hard to put this together. Um, I was very lucky that they invited me to kind of be part of this and just kind of lend a hand where I can. Um, and just a little bit more detail here. It will broadcast beginning at 8 a.m. Central on Saturday, December 14th on the whoneedsleep.org website and will continue until 8 p.m. on Sunday night, December 15, 2019. All the proceeds from the telethon go to Cancer Support Community of North Texas, the Lymphoma and Neuroblastoma Wards of Cook Children's Medical Center in Fort Worth. So, if you or anyone you know has been affected by this disease, um, it would be kind of cool if you could just tune in and find out how you can help. There's going to be a lot of entertaining stuff. Like I think one of the best ways to fight this disease is with bringing good energy to the world. So that's what we're hoping to accomplish. Um, so like I said, I'll be there. My panels are on Sunday, but you can check out the full schedule on the website. I'll be tweeting out, and thank you for joining me.